Today we're talking about marriage success secrets, the things that we need to know. It's not when you have problems in marriage that you do counseling. People think that, counseling is only for marriages that are in serious trouble, where things are really bad, and then you're getting some counseling. But that's not the case. The case is that while things are going well, you get counseling. And then somebody can come professionally and say, well, this is how you guys are doing. You can do this, or that. And then things start to improve and get better. And because your goal is to get things better. Even if you bought a Rolls Royce, like a nice big Rolls Royce, fancy Rolls Royce, because it's such a good car, you still will have to maintain it and service it. And that's important because no matter how good your marriage is going, you got to service it. So it's a very good practice to get counseling when things are going, and then you get tips and information to actually make things better. And that's very important. The other thing too about marriage is you've got to learn about conflict resolution. Now, your marriage is great and you guys are doing well, but conflicts will come, issues will come that need to be resolved. And if you don't know how to resolve these things properly, then you are going to find that there's going to be strife in the marriage. So it's very important that you learn how to resolve conflict. Okay? Whenever your partner says that they are hurt, never go back to them and explain why you hurt them, because an explanation of why you hurt them will not stop them from being hurt. So when your partner says they are hurt, the only thing that can resolve the hurt or take the hurt away is love. So you've got to learn that whenever a partner comes to you and says, this thing you did hurt me, don't explain why you did it, because it's like you're trying to validate the fact that you hurt them, and that doesn't help. So it's very, very important where people aren't very intentional about responding to a partner saying, I don't like this, or this thing hurt me. If it hurts you, the only thing that can take hurt away is love. So you say, oh, darling, what can I do? I didn't mean to. What can I do? Do this, you pull them close, you kiss them, you do something. But that's what you've got to do. Don't go arguing. Actually, the root of trying to explain why you hurt them is pride, because you feel a need to really explain to them why you did what you did. But no matter the reason that you did what you did, the issue is they are hurt. And if they're hurt, then they need love. Yes. The other thing too you have to learn is how to reverse downward spirals. In marriages, it's very often that one person will hurt somebody, and that person, okay, let's do this. The female, like the wife will hurt her husband, okay? And because she could disrespect him, or maybe she didn't, but in his eyes, he felt disrespected. And because he feels disrespected, what he does, he withdraws love. And when a woman does not feel love, the urge to disrespect is high. So she could disrespect again. And then when she disrespects again, he pulls back more love. And because she's completely unloved at this time, guess what she does? She disrespects again. And it's a cycle that gets worse. And there is a way to stop this. And that's why it's really important that you learn this. People need to be coached in marriage, because there's so many principles and things that people need to learn that if you don't learn it, you will struggle. Marriage is a profession, is something that you do most of your time, an occupation that you need to study and learn to know it. Okay, so the issue here is that anytime that one person is feeling unloved or disrespected, the other person has got to continue to do the right thing. So the fact that your husband or your wife did the wrong thing by disrespecting you, you still have to love her. And if you love her and continue to love her, she will eventually come back and respect you. But if she disrespected and you stopped loving, the only other thing she will do is disrespect again because she feels no love. So let's learn this here, where if you are the man, you need respect and she needs love. Make sure that irrespective of how they are coming at you, make sure that you are doing the right thing. If you're a woman, you continue to respect. You continue to respect till he flips over and starts to give love. If you're a man, you continue to love and you continue to love till it takes over, till things change over and she starts to respect. Did you just learn that? That is good. you must always maintain order in the house, in the home. God first, husband is the leader, and wife, and then the children. That's the order. Maintain that order. Sometimes I've seen where if you upset the order, things will start to get confused, and then there will be some problems and strife. So there's order. Sometimes we put children above husband. We just do things sometimes, and we mix things up. And when we mix things up, things get bad. Okay? As a wife, you never wear the pants in the house, no matter what. You must know that having peace is more important than being right. Always know this in marriage. You reap what you sow. If you get angry and you do bad things in the home or to your husband, it's going to come back to you. So no matter how you're feeling, realize that whatever I sow, I will reap. Okay? So if you sow anger, or you sow abuse, or you sow anything that's bad in the marriage, it will come back. And always realize this, know what you want, and make it that whatever you sow is what you want, irrespective of how you feel. Because sometimes in marriage, you are so angry with your husband for something. And to be quite frank, what you want is that he love you more. He show you more love. But because you're angry, you abuse, you do something bad. But then that thing you did that's bad can never give you what you want. So understand this, no matter how emotional you are, no matter how angry you are, make sure that whatever you sow into your partner, your spouse, is a seed that is able to give you what you want. Think about this closely, because many times while we're emotional and we're angry, we just do and say things that cannot give us what you want. It's very important to make sure that the way I talk, the way I respond, the atmosphere I create in my house is one that is encouraging for my spouse to come back to. There are times when we forget, or in ignorance, we shout, we fight, we do some things, and then, we expect that my spouse will be eager to come back home. And that's not true. The home must be sweet and soft and nice and gentle, to just make sure that when I'm out there and life is rough and I'm thinking of going back home, I'm very encouraged. I want to go back home because I just know that home is a comfortable place. Somebody's going to meet me with a smile, with a hug, with a kiss, and things are going to be nice. I'm going to get encouragement of some sort and some affirmation, because that's what I get at home. But if you forget about this, and home is a place where, you're trying to make him or her do something, and you're trying to teach them a lesson, then home is no longer great. So this is something that both parties must understand, that you have the power to create the atmosphere in your home, and you've got to create an atmosphere that your spouse, your partner, is looking forward to coming to. So you have to be very intentional about the way you keep things going on at home. So both of you be intentional about creating an atmosphere at home that is very, very encouraging for everyone to come back to. And that is very important, okay? It's also important to be each other's friends, share each other's hobbies, joke and play with each other. Marriage should be fun. Sometimes you guys make marriage like it's about paying rent and taking care of the children. Marriage is about other things. But marriage should be fun. It's between two people. You're playing together, you're joking together, and be intentional to share each other's hobbies. I've seen too many times where somebody likes to do one thing and the other person just doesn't care about doing it, just doesn't care about getting involved. But these are the little things that makes things work, because if I like something and you do it with me, and then you like something and I do it with you, then we're friends and we're interacting. We've got common experiences. We've got common things to talk about. But I've seen a lot of couples where, like he likes something and she says, well, I have no interest and I'm not going to get involved. You can get involved. You can be intentional. Everybody, you can do anything except by, you're able to do whatever you put your mind to. So be intentional to share each other's hobbies, each other's whatever that you guys like. Share it. Don't say, well, I don't like it, then I'm not going to do it. In-laws are very important when marriage is being spoken about, because your in-law basically is your spouse's parent, and most times they've known their parent longer than you. So fine, they love you and you're their next of kin, but their parents have great influence over them, male or female, wife or husband. So you must just be very intentional about how you deal with your in-laws. So you study your in-laws, intentionally smother your in-laws with love. Now, love is unconditional, meaning like some people say, well, my in-laws are bad, they don't ask for me, they didn't want me, so I can't love them. But love is unconditional. That may be the case, but it doesn't matter. You intentionally love them, make them know that they're loved, because they have influence over your spouse. And whether you like it or not, if they decide to work against you, it just makes things harder. So it's better to have them on your side, and then things are not bad. Really try to not have in-laws live with you. So, and this is very important, because there's sometimes that especially men just bring their in-laws, and then the in-laws are there permanently. In-laws do not help the smooth running of marriage. So be with you all the time. They can visit. They'll tell you they're coming. You know how long they're coming. When they're there, you smother them with love. You are generous. You give them things. You do a lot, and then they go. They shouldn't really avoid, if you can, your in-laws living with you. It doesn't really create the environment for your marriage to really do great things. Okay? And then in a marriage, a husband should protect his wife from his family. So if there's an issue between the wife and the family, don't allow your wife to go and start to talk to your family and start to get into all sorts of entanglements with your family. No. Like a husband will protect his wife from his family, and then he will fight for his wife, with his family. Then the wife does the same thing too. If the wife's family has an issue with the husband, don't just push your husband to them, then him and them are sorting it out. As a wife, you protect him from your family, and you fight his battles with your family. This is very important. Many times people don't really realize this, and the husband says, well, go and talk to my father about something that they don't agree on, or my mother, and just send her out there, and then they deal with her anyhow, and things are bad. Don't do that, or send her to your siblings. No. As a husband, you figure out what is going on, and then you go to your parents and say, well, you defend your wife, you speak for her, you make sure that she's in good standing. Same thing with your siblings and everything. And your wife does the same thing too. It's very important that we know this, because I've seen this, that in ignorance, people have just sent their wives to their parents, and the parents dealt with them and everything, and it got worse. Things just got worse. So you don't do that. Are we good? Sex is very important in marriage, and this is true. One, sex in marriage maintains intimacy. Like when you guys have, make love and everything, you're closer. Sex in marriage increases oneness in marriage. See, marriage is a test of your ability to become one with another person. That's the main goal of marriage, ability to become one. You were two, you became one, and you completely become one. And sex helps that. So keep that in mind. Sex in marriage takes away stress. Sex in marriage aids forgiveness. If you have real intimate sex in marriage, you let things go, and it helps the progress in marriage. And to be quite frank, sex should be readily available at all times in marriage. It's very important. It helps the marriage to move forward and progress. And this is important. Now, the key to good sex. You guys are hoping you're going to hear some really, really raunchy stuff, but you're not. But you're going to get the keys to good sex. Okay. Now, one main thing about love is that love is about the other person. Love is selfless. It's not about you. It's about the other person. And good sex always comes from you being able to ask your partner what they want, really get an understanding of what they want, and that you continue to give them, even if it's not what you want, but you are going out of your way to give your partner what they want. And hopefully they are going to reciprocate and give you what you want. And if we keep this in mind, where things are going to be okay. When sex stops working in marriage, is you're thinking about yourself. This is what I need to make myself. This is what I need to make myself enjoy this thing. And your focus is all on what I need. It needs to be faster, stronger, longer, whatever. And you're focused. But that's not what makes sex really good. Sex is all about you being focused on what they want and giving them what they want, and they giving you what you want. Okay, for as long as you want it, and things are going to be good. We're talking about success, the marriage success secrets. You can't really talk about success in marriage without talking about sex. So this is important. Are we keeping this in mind? God forbid that your husband has a side chick or your wife has a side guy. These days, we know what it is. If that's the case, the problem is not your husband. Because many times I see, especially women, go and start to fight somebody outside. It's like, my husband is saying, why you talk to my husband? But the issue here is that if your husband doesn't fear God enough to not keep himself for you, it's not her problem. Because even if you fought her and she stopped, because he has no control and no fear of God, he is is going to see another woman and he's going to pursue again. And then you go and fight that woman. And then after she leaves, he'll go again and see somebody else. And then you fight that person. At the end of the day, you must realize that those women, they're really not the problem. There are always going to be women out there. And if I'm talking to a female, there are always going to be fine guys out there. You've got to have the fear of God in you to make you say, you know what, I have found my one person. And since I found this person, I don't have eyes for everybody else. It's an intentional commitment, because you'll always see somebody finer or hunkier than your husband or your wife, and you can't say, well, so I had to do anything. You've got to have self-control, okay? You pray about it and really, really meditate on it and make sure that you've got good self-control. And that is important. And independence is a very bad thing in marriage, okay? Because to be quite frank, sometimes we think it's okay to be the marriage can be independent, but you being independent in the marriage is fighting against the oneness you're trying to create. So keep that in mind, that it's fighting against the oneness that you're trying to create. So you don't want that. Independence in marriage is when you are still thinking and acting like a single person in marriage. It's very bad. You want, or a person who wants their space. If you love your space so much, then you should stay single. But the minute you get married, you are two before, now you're one. This space that you want for yourself is fighting the oneness and therefore fighting the foundation of your marriage. Whatever that fights your oneness is fighting the foundation of your marriage. So think about it. Any situation that arises where one person becomes themselves, the other person somebody else, then there are two visions and different actions, it's fighting the marriage. So you're trying to be one, okay? You want your space, don't do that, or you're making selfish and self-centered choices and decisions all the time. So when you make a decision, it's selfish or it's just focused on you, or a choice, you're thinking about yourself only. These things destroy marriages. You don't want that. You want it that at all times, you're thinking of both of you. Your vision is for both of you. Your choices, consider both of you. Your actions, consider both of you. This is how marriages work because you are two. You are no longer one. Okay? So keep that in mind. What else is here? Another thing is finances.